will be the next leader of the Craighead County Sheriff's Office. For the next hour, you'll hear from the two candidates seeking the opportunity to serve you and lead the county's leading law enforcement agency. Hello, I'm Diana Davis. We're joining you from the K8 News Studio for the primary election on March 3rd. Now, during this debate, we'll ask a wide range of questions. We'll also take time to answer questions directly from you at home. The men vying for the sheriff's position are Jason Allen and Randy Eggers. Before we go forward, we have some rules to inform the debate participants. Each debate segment will cover a broad theme of topics. Each candidate will receive 2 minutes for opening remarks and closing remarks. Each candidate will receive 1 minute and 45 seconds to answer each question. Time limits will be strictly observed. The moderator may restate a question. The moderator may interrupt a candidate if they believe he is straying from the subject. The order of statements and responses was determined by an envelope drawing before the debate. The person who drew number 1 will give the first opening statement, followed by 2, and go in reverse order for the closing remarks, meaning the second candidate will close first. This ensures that every candidate gets 1 turn to be the first and last to speak. All of your mics will be on throughout the duration of the debate. And now for opening statements, we start with Randy Eggers. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Randy Eggers. Give a quick background on myself. I was a reserve deputy for Craighead County Sheriff's Department for about 6 years. Worked a full-time schedule. At the same time, I was general manager for the Malt Turtle Creek through most of that. And it's just kind of a job that I loved. You know, I enjoyed helping the deputies. I enjoyed working for them, and loved Craighead County, and decided I'd like to run for sheriff because I think I can make a really big difference in the community, and I would be a sheriff that would be out with the deputies a lot. I'm not going to sit in an office. I'll take care of the paperwork. I know as a GM I can take care of paperwork pretty quick, but I will be out with the public, and I will answer phone calls from the public.
Randy Eggers, thank you. Jason Allen, your opening statement, and you have 2 minutes.
Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing us to come and do this debate today. My name is Jason Allen. I'm running for your Craighead County Sheriff. I've been a lifelong resident of Craighead County. I was born and raised here. My wife and I, my wife Tanil and I have 3 children, 2 grandchildren. I spent 2 decades in law enforcement. Part of that decade, it's given me that experience to run for sheriff. I believe I have what it takes to run for sheriff. I'm currently the assistant chief deputy with the sheriff's office. I have held the position of SWAT commander. I've held the position of commander of the Arkansas Sheriff's Association Honor Guard for the state. I currently hold a position for the Brooklyn School Board, Board of Education. I also am a co-chair for the Black River Law Enforcement Training Academy for the state. My experience speaks for itself. The bottom line is you want a sheriff that has experience, and you want a sheriff that you can trust. There's a time and place for everything. When it comes to public safety in this office, it's not a time to try new things with someone with inexperience. And as your sheriff, I promise to work hard to make you proud, to be a part of this community. I'll work hard to make you proud of the sheriff's office. Thank you.
Jason Allen, thank you. And now we turn to our very first question. What do you feel is the most important issue facing the next person who assumes the position? And a reminder, you have 1 minute 45 seconds. Jason Allen, how would you respond?
Well, I think that a lot of that comes back to the most important issues facing today. We see nationwide, we see the ICE protest, we see all that stuff coming down the line. Our jail is the big issue facing us in Craighead County. We've got to start talking about our jail facility and how we're going to go forward from here with the jail.
All right, thank you. And Randy Eggers, what do you feel is the most important issue facing the next person who assumes this position?
One of the most important things is community trust. We got to speak with the community, get with the community, let them know we're there for them all the time. He mentioned the jail. Jail is getting old, and he's probably right. That's going to be something that's going to have to be addressed. I don't know if they're still overcrowding out there or not anymore, but going to have to look at what to do about the jail, whether it needs to be built on to, different things in there. How can we make it better, for the inmates too? So.
All right, thank you, Randy Eggers. Moving on to our next question. In an era where public trust is paramount, the operations of law enforcement agencies are under increasing scrutiny. A critical focus for any community is ensuring that its sheriff's office operates with the highest levels of accountability and transparency. How would you ensure accountability and transparency within the sheriff's office? And a reminder, you have a minute 45 seconds. Randy Eggers, we begin with you.
For the accountability and transparency with the sheriff's department, that will go to the part where I believe they have an open door policy. Talk with the community, inform them what's going on out there, and I'll just go with always making sure all officers are doing what they're supposed to be doing. They need to be seen in the public. I'm only going to say this one time on it, but county officers need to be in the county. They don't need to be in city limits of Jonesboro. So kind of went astray there a little, but that's what I believe.
All right, Randy Eggers, thank you. Now your response, Jason Allen. How would you ensure accountability and transparency within the sheriff's office?
We've got to build that trust with the community first and foremost. I think that's the big key with transparency. We've got to get out and speak with individuals out in their yards. We're starting to implement that. We're starting to do a better job at that, talking to people out in their yards, people where they're at. We're connecting on a personal level. They see that and they communicate with the sheriff's office. It's more of an accountability issue. It tears down those walls that have been put up by media in today's society. One of the things on transparency, the sheriff's office, we're pretty transparent and we're pretty well accountable on a day-to-day basis. Our camera systems, everything we do is recorded. We have an open door policy. They call all the time. We fulfill FOIAs. We speak with the public on a daily basis on accountability and transparency.
Jason Allen, thank you for that response. Moving on to our next question. Technology is rapidly reshaping our landscape with new innovations emerging constantly. A question from our community: how do you plan to use technology to improve law enforcement operations and public safety? Jason Allen, your answer, and a reminder, you have a minute 45 seconds.
So we've already started implementing new technology and stuff. I think that our CID department needs to be built from where it is today. We need to build on that. Everything we do now is on a digital platform. We've already started implementing technology to do digital forensics on phones, computers. We're doing that on a daily basis. We just started that. We've been having communications with farmers about theft in the community. We started implementing, we bought a camera system last year. We're going to start putting up in certain areas hotspots of thefts. We're trying to combat that way. We just got to get better with our technology, and we're doing that daily at the sheriff's office now. I think that we're on the uphill swing of that. But the CID and our the way we look at crimes and stuff now has to be looked at in a different way, because everything's a digital footprint now.
All right, thank you for your response. And again, restating that question, Randy Eggers, how do you plan to use technology to improve law enforcement operations and public safety?
Well, this is something I'm coming in behind because I don't know what's happening out there right now. But, you know, there again, the public safety and technology, you know, definitely body cams, mics on, you know, for the conversations that's been going on, which I know they're already doing that. Improve on cameras maybe in the vehicles, microphones in the vehicles. You know, I think that still happens, ain't it? Recording in the cars and stuff, and improve with the new technologies out there.
All right. Randy, thank you for that response. Now, moving on, Craighead County launched its Crisis Stabilization Response Team in 2022. As communities nationwide continue to grapple with rising mental health challenges and the growing need for crisis intervention, many are asking whether current efforts are meeting the full scope of community needs. If more needs to be done, what's your plan? Randy Eggers, you have a minute, 45 seconds.
Yeah, and I'm coming in on the back side of this already. You know, if I'm elected sheriff, when I get in, we'll be looking at, you know, how to deal with, you know, mental crisis and everything, what's new out here, what can we use, what do we need to do to help. And also, you know, what new technologies are out here that we could use. So.
Mr. Eggers, thank you for your response. Posing that same question, Jason Allen, as communities nationwide continue to grapple with rising mental health challenges and the growing need for crisis intervention, many are asking whether current efforts are meeting the full scope of community needs. If more needs to be done, what is your plan?
So right now the Sheriff's Office is doing a really good job on crisis intervention. We have implemented, and it's a policy of ours, that every deputy goes through crisis intervention training. As of right now, every deputy that we have has been through crisis intervention. We have someone on staff that's all she does. She works closely with those agencies that deal with mental health. We get them in that crisis intervention. Once they come in the jail, we're constantly doing things to get those people in those facilities that need help. But to answer your question, the Sheriff's Office is doing a really good job on crisis intervention. Like I said, we've got every deputy trained to deal with crisis intervention.
All right, Jason Allen, thank you for your response. Moving on to our next question. 2 crisis stabilization units are operating across Arkansas. The Craighead County unit has been secured until this summer. Could it be improved? What are your thoughts on it? And Jason Allen, you have a minute 45 seconds for this response.
Yeah, there's always room for improvement. We're doing a really good job, like I said in the previous question, about doing that with this crisis stabilization unit. It's always full. We're always trying to get those people in those facilities to make room for more people coming in. But yeah, there is always a chance for improvement. I think that we're doing a pretty good job. We could probably do a little bit better on that. It comes down to basically bed space.
All right. Thank you, Jason Allen. Turning that same question to you, Randy Eggers. 2 crisis stabilization units are operating across Arkansas. The Craighead County unit has been secured until this summer. Could it be improved? What are your thoughts?
Everything can be improved. Talking with people in there, seeing what they think. You know, how do they think we could make changes to make things better in that area? The people that work there will know more than what him or I will know, and just use the people we have there to make recommendations and see if there's something that can be done within a certain budget.
All right, Randy Eggers, thank you. And you are watching the 2026 Craighead County Sheriff's Debate. We'll be back in a few minutes with viewer questions.
K8 24/7 Weather is your round-the-clock access to Region 8 weather. Daily forecast, up-to-the-minute radar, and live weather cams airing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Watch K8 24/7 Weather exclusively on K8 Now and on KAIT8.com.
Getting to the bottom of the story and finding solutions. K8 Investigates is here for you.
People work all their life to build a nest egg and it's gone in 25 seconds.
When you need answers, we find the truth. Getting eyewitness accounts and telling your side of the story.
It happened to us, so it can happen to anyone.
You deserve a news team dedicated to bringing you answers. K8 Investigates. Watch all our investigations right here on K8 Now.
Now we want to get away from our questions and take the ones you've sent in from home. Griffin Broussard joins us here in the studio with those right now. Griffin.
Thank you, Diana. This question comes from Robin Martin in Jonesboro. Craighead County voters in 2024 voted down a bond issue with a sales tax proposal for a new county jail. What do you see as the best step forward for Craighead County to add detention center space to keep criminals off the streets? Would you support a tax increase to do this?
Thank you. That question goes to Randy Eggers. And a reminder, you have 1:45 seconds.
I would support a tax increase for it. Most important thing out there is, we got to have, let's see we need more room. Basically, Sheriff's Department's outgrowing the old jail, whether that be built onto it or build a whole new jail. But looking, I know people don't like increases in taxes. Nobody ever does. But at this point in time, Jonesboro's growing, and Sheriff's Department's got to keep pace with it.
Randy Eggers, thank you for your response. And again, restating that question, Craighead County voters in 2024 voted down a bond issue with a sales tax proposal for a new county jail. What do you see as the best step forward for Craighead County to add detention center space to keep criminals off the streets? Would you support a tax increase to do this? Jason Allen, your response.
Yeah, no one wants taxes. We're taxed to death. Everybody believes that we're taxed to death. We want public safety, but we don't want to pay for it. I did support the tax back in 2024. I support the tax now. We're in conversations right now talking about the jail space and what we're going to do if we don't get that jail tax passed again. Moving forward from here, we've had those conversations, and we're in those conversations now with a architect about how we build those jails, with staffing that we have, and the money, where we're going to get the money at. The jail now, we can build a new jail facility. What we're looking at, we can double the bed space with the same amount of employees the way the architects is designed. We just got to figure out how we're going to get that money and how we're going to pay for that.
Jason Allen, thank you for your response.
And this next viewer question comes from Jake Garrett in Brookland. How will you ensure the safety of our children here in Craighead County?
All right, thank you, Griffin. And that question goes to Jason Allen. And a reminder, you have 1:45 seconds.
When it comes to the safety of our children, that's kind of a broad statement or a broad question, in my opinion. My response to that is, I think we need to start educating our children, and we need to start educating our parents on social media, the technology that's out there. I think the biggest thing for the safety issue of our children in today's society is social media, those social media platforms that lead to other things. I think that parents need to be educated on the dangers of those social media platforms, and parents are going to have to come back to being parents and kind of parenting what their children are doing.
All right, thank you. And turning our attention to that very same question, how will you ensure the safety of our children here in Craighead County? Your response, Randy Eggers.
It's going to be kind of hard to beat his response. It all comes down to the parents looking at what their children are actually looking at on social media, who they're talking with. Parents need to really get more involved with what's happening in that area. I've got a granddaughter and stuff. We check who she's talking to. You know, what is she getting on? You know, how old are the people that she's talking with? You know, so I kind of look at that. Parents are really going to have to get involved in it, and it's just going to be left to the parents right now, what I can see.
All right, Randy Eggers, thank you.
And this question comes to us from Tim Martin in Jonesboro. With the rise in internet crimes, how does your department plan on resolving this issue?
And that question begins with Randy Eggers. And a reminder, you have 1:45 seconds.
Well, that's going to kind of involve setting up a whole different department, you know, a couple more people monitoring what's going on with social media, what the well, I got lost there, but you know, we're just going to have to look at what kind of crimes are going on with social media, and have to try to figure out, you know, how can we educate the public of what's going on, and send out messages through, you know, the social media there too. So I mean, you know, everything's turning to social media now to reach more people.
Randy Eggers, thank you for your response. And again, restating that question, with the rise in internet crimes, how does your department plan on resolving this issue? And Jason Allen, your response to that?
So I think we need to start beefing up our CID, like I said in the previous thing before. The Sheriff's Office is already starting to implement that. We started implementing that several months back with technology that we've purchased to investigate those crimes. We've got a couple investigators that's in our CID now that they're starting to get that training on how to investigate those crimes, how to process those crimes. But the Sheriff's Office is already in process of doing that. We just got to continue to build on that, build on the technology, build on the training. That's how we're going to resolve that issue.
All right. Jason Allen, thank you for your response. And you're watching the 2026 Craighead County Sheriff's Debate. We'll be back in a few minutes. Join K8 and First Community Bank as we celebrate a decade of kindness. For 10 years, we've shared heartwarming stories of our neighbors who made it their mission to serve others and put their community first. Join us for a family-friendly special as we reflect on some of our favorite moments. A decade of kindness streaming exclusively here on K8 Now.
K8 24/7 Weather is your round-the-clock access to Region 8 weather. Daily forecast, up-to-the-minute radar, and live weather cams airing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Watch K8 24/7 Weather exclusively on K8 Now and on KAIT8.com.
Welcome back. Every law enforcement agency operates within constraints, whether it's personnel, equipment, funding, or facilities. Are there any areas where you believe the sheriff's office is under-resourced or over-resourced? How would you address that? And that question goes to Randy Eggers. You have a minute 45 seconds.
Well, being away from the sheriff's department for a while, I'd have to look at that from a day one perspective when I walk in, if I'm elected. If it's, if you're over-resourced in certain areas, you need to be able to move to other areas, maybe by, if it's with people or something, training how to multitask different areas and be able to move people around. And if a need be, bring in some people to help assist with the new training that they may need.
All right, Randy Eggers, thank you for that response. Again, posing that same question, Jason Allen, are there any areas where you believe the sheriff's office is under-resourced or over-resourced? How would you address that?
I don't believe the sheriff's office is ever over-resourced. Under-resourced, yes, the jail is our under-resourced area. Like I said, we're in those conversations of fixing that. The sheriff's office, we do a really good job. We follow a very strict budget. So, everything that we budget, everything we do, we look at that budget, we see those resources, we put those resources where they need to go. As far as under-resourced or over-resourced, I think that we do a very great job right now with our resources and our budget.
Jason Allen, thank you. And moving on to our next question, Craighead County, like many communities, faces the dual challenge of maintaining public safety while fostering positive relationships between law enforcement and the residents it serves. What is your philosophy on community policing, and how would you implement it in Craighead County? Jason Allen, you have a minute 45 seconds.
I think we got to get back to the basics of policing, protecting and serving. We've got to get to where we build that community trust with people, get in on a one-to-one personal level with them, building those relationships, implementing programs where we're community aware, we're community involved. A big part of that, if we're community involved, the community knows exactly where the sheriff's office is coming from, and we know exactly where the public's coming from. We got to build those relationships, and we got to implement that. Transparency, I think we're doing a pretty good job at transparency. We just got to build on those relationships. We got to foster those relationships, not only with the public, with certain entities. We could foster relationships to build, just continue to build the community.
Jason Allen, thank you. Randy Eggers, same question. What is your philosophy on community policing, and how would you implement it in Craighead County?
The community is going to say a lot more than we do. They live in the areas, they know what's going on. Excuse me. One thing I would do is try to bring communities together, have public meetings, try to train them on what to look for, what they could do to help us out. Main thing is, if you see something, say something. Make a phone call. Let us take a look at it and see if there's really something there. That would be one of the best ways I could think of right now to begin with it.
Very good, thank you. And as this debate comes near a conclusion, what is your long-term vision for the Sheriff's Office and its role in the community? Randy Eggers, you have a minute 45 seconds.
Long-term vision is safety for the community. And the role for the community is to help the police. Don't get involved in anything going on. Don't try to stop a criminal. Don't try to, apprehend somebody. But make a phone call, let us take care of it. You know, that's what the police are for. They're there to take care of the community. You know, everybody signed up for a job. They know what they're going to be doing. It's not the prettiest job in the world sometimes, but I get a lot of pleasure out of being able to help people in the community.
Randy Eggers, thank you. Jason Allen, the same question. What is your long-term vision for the Sheriff's Office and its role in the community?
So yeah, we just got to continue. You know, my goal is to continue to build on what we have now, to continue to make it better than what, you know, the old saying is, leave it better than the way you found it. That's the way I want to do, is leave it better than the way I found it. You know, I want to put together an administrative staff that's second to none. I want to sit down and really see what our vision is for the county, do a mission statement, have standards that we set. You know, we have that vision, we have that mission statement, and we stick to our standards. People buy into that, and it continues to grow. But we just got to stick to those standards and our vision, our goal.
All right, Jason Allen, thank you. And we'll be back in a few minutes for closing statements.
Getting to the bottom of the story and finding solutions. K8 Investigates is here for you.
People work all their life to build a nest egg, and it's gone in 25 seconds.
When you need answers, we find the truth. Getting eyewitness accounts and telling your side of the story.
It happened to us, so it can happen to anyone.
You deserve a news team dedicated to bringing you answers. K8 Investigates. Watch all our investigations right here on K8 Now.
Your next adventure is just a short drive away.
Hello, friend. I'm Chris Hughes. Let's take a road trip, shall we?
Join K8 and First Security Bank as we check out all the best destinations for you and your family to visit. There's so many places nearby for you to explore. We're talking museums, parks, attractions, and the best mouth-watering food you've ever laid your eyes on.
So, if you're looking for your next getaway, all you need to do is take a road trip.
Only on KAIT8.com and K8 Now. Sponsored by First Security Bank.
It's time for closing statements. We start with Jason Allen, and a reminder, you have 2 minutes.
I want to thank everyone for sending in all the questions and concerns. That gives about how we can improve the safety of Craighead County. Those questions will be taken to heart and looked at and discussed. You know, my 2 decades in law enforcement tells me that I'm prepared to be your sheriff on day one. I won't need no training wheels. You know, my experience and my dedication to our community, I think, speaks for itself, and it surpasses my opponents. You know, I didn't throw my name in the hat for fun. I didn't throw my name in the hat because this is a game. This office and this community is very serious to me, and I will take this office very seriously. And as your sheriff, I promise to work hard to make you proud of me and the sheriff's office. And again, I'm Jason Allen. I'm asking for your vote.
All right, thank you. Randy Eggers, your closing statement. You have 2 minutes.
Okay. Well, I'll start out with my experience with general management. That's what a sheriff is. He's a general manager. He runs the budgets, he creates a budget, he puts out the schedules, same thing that I've done for years and years. But, you know, I feel I'm more than qualified to do it. Like I said, I spent almost, 6 years, a little over 6, as a reserve deputy, working full-time schedules for free. As your sheriff, I won't just sit in an office. I will work more than probably anybody out there. I'll go out days, I'll go out nights. As soon as I can get everything done in the office, I'll be gone. And my wife will tell you, I come home late. I enjoy the work, I enjoy helping people. And as a sheriff, I hope, everybody will take a look at me, trust me, and give me their vote. And I promise you, I will make Craighead County a little bit safer. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And thank you to the candidates, and thank you at home for joining us. Early voting kicks off for the March primary elections on Tuesday, February 17th. Election Day is Tuesday, March 3rd. You can watch the entire debate again on our website, KAIT8.com, the K8 News app, and on our streaming platform, K8 Now. On behalf of K8, I'm Diana Davis.